r/AskReddit. Women of Reddit, what is the most memorable compliment you have received from a man? The most memorable one for me came from a middle-aged bartender. I'm pale and have long blonde hair and was wearing a royal blue dress. He gave me the most fatherly smile and said, "Wow, you look just like a princess. You're just missing your crown." It was just so wholesome and not creepy at all. Or, my dad says I'm his favorite person and the best gift he has ever received. I struggle with self-confidence, so even though I think he is exaggerating and just doing what fathers do, he says it with so much conviction and love, makes me melt. My dad always told me I was his favorite daughter. I'm an only child. That's how you know it's true. Plot twist, he has a secret second family, but his other daughter is a Karen. Hopefully I can give you a little perspective on just how much he's not exaggerating. I think a little background on me is needed to even try to convey somewhat your dad feels toward you. I'm 39 years old, never married, in and out of relationships most of my life. I don't think there is anything particularly wrong with me, but I live in more rural conservative state, and I'm a bit more liberal minded, so I haven't found someone I really click with that isn't already taken. I started dating a co-worker mostly to pass the time and get laid once in a while. I know how that sounds. Really I do. And it went on again off again for over a year. She ended up getting pregnant. As it turns out, switching from brand name to generic of the same BC was the window my swimmers needed. I've always wanted kids. I enjoy them. And I've had multiple friends and family tell me that I'm good with them. And I'm good with kids that can play with me. I can pick them up, toss them on the couch, let them crawl all over me, but babies, not so much. I had never changed a diaper and didn't think babies had much of a personality until they got to at least 18 months. And so I was concerned that I wouldn't feel a bond or connect with my son when he was born or until years later. That concern was amplified by the fact that my father was cold, never around, and when he was around he was distant or annoyed with my brother, and to this day I still don't have much of an emotional connection to my father. On top of all that baggage, I have a lot of hobbies, plus I bought a fixer-upper house recently for the first time in my life, so I have a million projects, and I had recently found an abandoned and injured puppy that I nursed back to healthy. So I had a lot happening in my life, and I believed that, since she and I don't live in the same town, and we split up during her pregnancy, my son might not be as high of a priority as he should be in my life with all that going on. I was wrong. I know it sounds cliche, because you hear it all the time, but my world revolves around this little boy now, like a cosmic gravitational shift from everything else that mattered to me at the time. To the next day none of that stuff mattered, and my life served only to improve his. I traded my dream sports car off for a Yukon dad wagon. I drive up 3 times a week to see him, and I miss him when I'm not there, and it's a strange feeling for me, because I'm very independent. He has so much more personality than I thought babies had at this age, and when I make him smile by making a silly face or noise, I can truthfully say those are the best moments of my life so far. 39 years of living life with depression, and for the first time I feel like it will get better instead of worse because of moments like that with my child. Before he was born, I had a very devil-may-care attitude in life, and now I feel a responsibility to take better care of myself, and I'm thinking more long-term financially to hopefully set him up with opportunities as he grows up. My hobbies don't exist right now, and I'm laser focused on getting my house that I've lived in a year renovated and sold so I can move closer to my son, because I would rather spend the money to commute twice a day and see my son more than sleep an extra half an hour each morning. When your dad tells you that you are his favorite person and the best gift he has ever received, it's absolutely not hyperbole. The words fail to impress upon you the emotions behind them. There was a homeless bummy dude, who used to stay right near my old work. Nice dude, former military, grew up poor and black in the south, crazy intelligent, aggressively and shoutingly friendly. For instance, hey, I like your aloha shirt. You look great. Chronically drunk. First thing, no one ever messes with you. You look like you're going places. Second thing, separate day, you're pretty alright. The neighborhood bon vivant. I was at my mother's funeral. I was the ugly daughter and considered myself hideous compared to my thin beautiful sisters. Someone asked if we would all pose for a picture together. I had been crying and said something like, "Oh my gosh, a picture now?" I looked like a complete wreck. Instantly, the priest, an old and beloved family friend who was standing nearby, said, "You don't look like a wreck. You look beautiful." That was the way he said with his accent. It was so spontaneous and genuine, it almost made me start crying again, for a different reason. We posed for the picture and it's the only picture I've ever liked of myself. My whole life I've felt overlooked and that people underestimate me. I also regularly deal with imposter syndrome, so when I feel like I'm not good enough for something, if I really want it, I will feel the need to over-explain myself to others. I was working in the kitchen at a summer camp where we served enough food to feed 500 plus people until they were satisfied. I asked my lead if I could be in charge of sending out the main course and the seconds for it. I was trying to convince him that I knew what I was doing and that I could handle it. He said, "Hey, I know you can. You're more than capable and you're one of the most hardworking people in this kitchen." I genuinely almost cried on the spot. There have been very few moments in my life where I have felt that validated and seen. I sang the Star Spangled Banner to start a race when I was 14. An older guy came up to me and told me I sounded like Taylor Swift and would be a great pop star one day. Jokes on him though, I'm training in opera. I was talking to a friend and said something about how I wouldn't last a day in prison. He responded, "Are you kidding me? You'd be running that place in a week." He said that I was the most beautiful girl in the world. It hit me right in the feels after going through a divorce in which I had only heard about all of the bad I caused and how much I wasn't wanted anymore. But then, he gave me an even bigger one. He said that I was too smart and had so much potential to do way more in life. Still makes me tear up when I think about it. A guy came over to mine for drinks as a first date. We had a shot and talked for a bit when he suddenly said, "I knew you were pretty, but you're really pretty." I'm kinda nervous. It was so sweet and unexpected. I never thought that I could make someone else nervous.